In January 2024, a historic moment unfolded in West Africa as Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger announced their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas. This decision was more than just a political move. It shook the foundation of a bloc that had long been seen as a cornerstone of regional integration. The three nations, facing unprecedented security challenges and disillusioned with ECOWAS's perceived failure to uphold its core values, chose to break away and form a new alliance. Their departure raised critical questions about the future of regional stability and cooperation in West Africa. The journey to this monumental decision did not happen overnight. Tensions had been brewing for months, primarily following the coup in Niger. ECOWAS, alarmed by the growing influence of military-led governments in the region, threatened military intervention in Niger to restore what it deemed constitutional order. This hardline stance alienated the three Sahel nations, as they viewed the threat as an infringement on their sovereignty. Despite months of diplomatic overtures, sanctions and negotiations, the divide deepened, culminating in the January 2024 announcement. The leaders of Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso issued a joint statement explaining their withdrawal. They emphasized that their decision was made in full sovereignty, criticizing ECOWAS for deviating from the Pan-African ideals upon which it was founded nearly 5 decades ago. According to the statement, ECOWAS had fallen under the influence of foreign powers, betraying its founding principles. Moreover, the bloc had failed to address the pressing security threats these nations faced, particularly terrorism, which had destabilized the Sahel region for years. Instead of offering support, ECOWAS imposed sanctions on these nations following their coups, further straining relations. Initially, ECOWAS refused to acknowledge the withdrawal, determined to bring the three nations back into the fold. The bloc recognized the strategic importance of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, which are central to West Africa's security and economic framework. During a high-level meeting in Abuja, Nigeria, ECOWAS President Omar Traore warned that the bloc risked disintegration without the Sahel nations. He highlighted the importance of a unified market of 400 million people and free movement across borders, key achievements that could be jeopardized by the departure of the three nations. Traore also issued a stark warning, stating that ECOWAS might suspend funding for economic projects worth over $500 million in the three countries if they did not reconsider their decision. However, these threats failed to sway Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, which remained resolute in their commitment to forming the Alliance of Sahel States, AES. The creation of the AES was a clear signal that the three nations were charting their own path, one that prioritized sovereignty, security, and economic self-reliance. Before we dive deeper into what this means for the region, take a moment to like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on African and global issues. The AES was established as a regional bloc to address the unique challenges facing the Sahel nations, particularly terrorism and underdevelopment. It marked a significant shift in regional dynamics, forcing ECOWAS to re-evaluate its approach. Senegalese President Dame Faye, a key figure in ECOWAS's mediation efforts, initially campaigned vigorously for the return of the three nations. His early diplomatic visits to Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso were aimed at bridging the divide, but his efforts were met with firm resistance. Despite his initial stance, Faye eventually adopted a more conciliatory tone, suggesting that ECOWAS should work with the AES instead of trying to undermine it. This shift in strategy was further highlighted during the Doha Forum in Qatar, where President Faye delivered a speech emphasizing the need for cooperation between ECOWAS and the AES. He argued that such collaboration was crucial for addressing shared challenges like terrorism, migration, and governance. Faye acknowledged that the AES had demonstrated a strong commitment to tackling insecurity and fostering socio-economic progress, making it a valuable partner for ECOWAS. Other ECOWAS leaders also began to soften their rhetoric. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, who had initially taken a hardline stance by threatening military intervention and imposing sanctions, adopted a more diplomatic approach. Speaking during a meeting with German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, Tinubu emphasized the importance of mutual respect and collaboration. He expressed a commitment to maintaining the welfare of citizens in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, even as the bloc worked to uphold democratic principles. Tinubu acknowledged the severe humanitarian impact of sanctions, particularly in Niger, where border closures and trade restrictions had led to economic hardships and loss of life. The AES, for its part, has made significant strides in addressing regional challenges. Its partnership with Russia has bolstered the military capabilities of the three nations, providing them with advanced equipment, intelligence, and training. This cooperation has enabled Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso to mount a more effective response to terrorism, which remains a pressing issue in the Sahel. The AES has also outlined ambitious plans to promote regional integration, including the development of a common currency, interconnected electrical grids, and improved infrastructure. As January 2025 approaches, the date when the withdrawal of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso from Ecowas becomes official, the two blocs are exploring ways to coexist and collaborate. The stakes are high, as the stability and prosperity of West Africa depend on effective regional cooperation. If Ecowas and the AES can find common ground, it could mark the beginning of a new era of partnership that prioritizes the needs of the region's people. The decision of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso to withdraw from ECOWAS reflects a broader trend in African geopolitics, a growing desire for sovereignty and self-reliance. The Sahel nations have made it clear that they will no longer tolerate foreign interference or half-hearted support in addressing their challenges. By forming the AES, they have taken a bold step toward reclaiming control over their destinies. What's your take on this historic shift in West Africa? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends to keep the conversation going.